You know that feeling, right? That familiar jolt of adrenaline. Your name gets called, you stand up, and suddenly the audience, whether it's 50 people or just 5, they look like this collective of judging eyes. Your heart starts pounding, like way too fast, and all those great ideas you rehearsed?
Gone. Just evaporated.
Exactly.
It's honestly the silent career killer, isn't it? Glossophobia, public speaking anxiety. Some reports say it affects, what, up to 75% of people?
75%. That's huge.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's this primal fear that, well, it often stalls careers, stifles brilliant ideas, all because people can't quite articulate them out loud when it counts.
And the advice we usually get, that's almost the most frustrating part.
Oh, yeah, just be confident.
Right. Or the classic, picture everyone naked.
Which never helps anyone, does it?
No, they're just platitudes. They mean well, I guess, but there's no actual strategy there.
None at all.
If you're prepping for a big presentation, that advice is, frankly, useless. It's like telling an engineer whose system is crashing to just, be less nervous about the code.
Exactly. Which is why in this deep dive, we're looking at something quite different, drawing from our sources. We're calling it engineering confidence.
Engineering confidence. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, the idea is to reframe confidence. It's not this magical quality you either have or you don't.
Right. Not something you're born with.
No. It's a complex system, something you can actually analyze, take apart, and fine-tune systematically,
right,
using logic and, well, rigor.
Okay, so the mission is treat your mind like a machine, an intricate one.
Precisely. We're going to dissect this system of fear, find its inputs, its buggy processors, those nasty feedback loops.
And then give you listening an engineer's toolkit.
That's it. A set of logical strategies for debugging your own cognitive code, designing some psychological failsafes.
Okay, so where do we start? How do we take this machine apart?
Well, before we can fix anything, we need to understand the parts.
Right. Makes sense.
So, step 1. Stop seeing anxiety as just this big, blurry feeling. It's actually a dynamic, interconnected system. And the good news is we can intervene at specific points.
All right. Component 1.
Let's start with the input, the trigger event. Basically, whatever kicks off that fear response.
Okay. The obvious ones are easy. Stepping onto the stage, starting a job interview.
Sure. But the sources really emphasize recognizing the subtle triggers, too. Because that's often where the anxiety actually starts building.
Subtle triggers? Like what?
Could be getting an email confirming the date, or seeing a colleague just nail their presentation the week before yours.
Okay. Or even just thinking about it while you're making coffee.
Exactly. And the key thing is, these inputs are just neutral data points initially. They only become scary once they hit the next component.
Which is the processor, your mind's interpretation engine.
Yep. Your mental CPU. That's where the neutral data gets assigned meaning. And if you've got glossophobia, that CPU is often running, well, buggy software.
Buggy software, cognitive distortions.
You got it. Habits of thinking that consistently misinterpret the facts.
So what are the common bugs?
We found 4 main ones that really cause system failure. First up, catastrophizing.
Okay, that sounds bad.
It is. It's blowing a small potential problem way out of proportion. Like, I'll stumble over one word, everyone will notice, they'll think I'm useless, my career is over. That kind of spiral.
Wow. Yeah, I think we've all done a version of that. What's next?
Mind reading. This is that totally unfounded belief that you know what the audience is thinking, and it's always negative.
Right. So you see someone yawn, and your brain instantly goes, they hate this. I'm boring them to death.
Exactly. Without even considering they might just be tired, or the room's stuffy, or anything else.
Okay. Bug number 3.
Perfectionism, which we can think of as the all-or-nothing bug.
So if it's not 100% perfect...
It's a total disaster. You miss one tiny detail, pause for a second too long, and your processor flags the entire thing as a failure. No room for just good enough.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. And often underlying these is imposter syndrome, that deep-seated feeling of, I shouldn't be here, I'm a fraud, and they're about to find out.
Okay. So the trigger comes in, the buggy processor interprets it as danger. Then what?
Then it flips the switch on the output, the physical and emotional response.
The fight or flight response.
Right. Only instead of a saber-toothed tiger, you're facing a PowerPoint presentation.
But the body reacts the same way.
Pretty much. That's where you get the classic symptoms. Heart racing, shallow breathing, sweating, shaky hands, dry mouth, the whole unpleasant package.
Okay, so trigger fault process can cause a physical reaction.
But you mentioned a feedback loop.
Yes. This is absolutely critical. The part that makes the anxiety stick around even get worse. The feedback loop.
How does that work?
Simple. The output from one cycle, let's say your hand starts shaking visibly, that becomes a new input.
Ah, okay. So your processor sees the shaking hands.
And interprets it negatively again. See? I am falling apart. Everyone can tell.
And that makes the anxiety worse. Exactly. It intensifies the fear, which leads to maybe more shaking, which reinforces the belief that public speaking is terrifying for you. It becomes self-fulfilling.
The system feeds itself because your interpretation of your own symptoms justifies the original fear.
Wow. But the good news is, now that we see the architecture, we can intervene. We can hack the system.
Okay. Let's grab that engineer's toolkit then. Where do we start intervening?
We begin with Principle 1, System Analysis and Diagnostics. Basically, know thyself.
Right. You can't fix a bug if you don't know what it is.
Precisely. We need to move beyond just feeling afraid and find the specific patterns. An engineer runs diagnostics, right?
Yeah.
They don't just guess.
So how we run diagnostics on our fear?
The main tool here is starting an anxiety log. Seriously. For maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you track things.
Track what specifically?
The date time, the specific trigger or input, the exact automatic thoughts that pop into your head. That's the processing.
Okay.
The physical and emotional response to the output, and rate the intensity, say, from 1 to 10.
And then you look for patterns in the log.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once you have, say, 10 or 20 entries, you review it. If you see that 8 times out of 10, your thought process is, I forgot this tiny detail, so the whole presentation is ruined.
Well, then you know your main bug is perfectionism.
You got it. The log gives you an objective diagnosis of your personal fear algorithm. It tells you where to focus your efforts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That leads nicely into Principle 2, debugging your cognitive code.
Yes. This is where we actively rewrite that mental software. It draws a lot from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
And there's a process.
A 3-step process. Catch, challenge, and change.
Catch, challenge, change. Okay, step 1. Catch the thought.
Right. You have to notice it first. Interrupt that automatic negative program the moment the anxiety hits. Ask yourself, what specific negative thought just ran through my mind?
Then challenge the thought. Now, I have to ask, doesn't this feel a bit fake sometimes? Especially when you're panicking, like just trying to slap a positive sticker on a negative feeling?
That's a really important point. It's not about instant fake positivity. Not at all. It's about becoming a skeptical detective, building a habit of rational assessment over time. You ask, what's the actual concrete evidence for this thought?
And against it.
And against it, yes. And critically, am I confusing a feeling with a fact? Or what would I tell a friend thinking this? It's the consistent practice of challenging that makes the new pathway stronger.
Got it. It's about evidence, not just wishful thinking. And the final step is change the thought.
Right. Formulate a new, more rational, balanced thought. This is your patch code.
So if the bug is, if I pause, I look incompetent.
The patched code could be, pausing is actually a normal part of speaking. It gives the audience time to think, and it can even make me seem more thoughtful. It's a tool, not a failure.
Okay, I see. Catch, challenge, change. Makes sense. What's next in the toolkit?
Principle 3, prototyping and iterative design. Treat your speech like a product that needs testing.
Like quality assurance for your presentation.
Exactly. You wouldn't ship software without testing it, right? Same idea.
Does that mean I have to practice the whole 50 slide deck 5 times in a row? Because that sounds awful.
Huh. No, not necessarily. We actually recommend starting with unit testing.
Unit testing, like in software.
Sort of. It means practicing just the tricky bits first. The introduction, maybe,
Yeah.
or that section with complex data, or the conclusion.
So focus on the parts where you're most likely to stumble.
Precisely. Isolate those weak spots and run them until they feel solid and robust.
Okay. And you mentioned multiple prototypes.
Yes. Use different methods.
Yeah.
There's the mirror prototype, watch your body language, are you closed off? Fidgeting. The audio prototype, record yourself. Listen back for pace, tone, clarity. Yes, listening to your own voice is often uncomfortable.
Understatement.
But it's so valuable. And the video prototype for the full picture, that's where you spot distracting habits, like clicking a pen or rocking back and forth.
And then you need feedback, right?
Absolutely. Beta testing.
Yeah.
Present to a trusted friend or colleague. And this is important, to ask for specific, actionable feedback.
Not just that was great.
Exactly. Ask things like, which part was least clear? Or where did my energy seem to drop? This iterative process reduces uncertainty, builds real familiarity with the material.
Which fights anxiety.
It's the antidote to anxiety, really. Deep, earned familiarity.
Okay, so we've worked on the mind, we've practiced the content, but But what about the body? It's still freaking out, maybe.
Good point.
Yeah.
That brings us to principle 4, system calibration, manually adjusting the physical response.
How do we do that? Override the panic button.
In a way, yes. We manually override those physiological alarm bells. For instance, if anxiety makes your breathing shallow and fast,
Which it always does.
then we install a breathing governor. We use techniques like box breathing.
Box breathing.
Yeah, it's simple. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale slowly for 4, hold for 4. Repeat for a minute or 2.
And why does that specific pattern work so well? What's the mechanism?
It's mainly about slowing down the exhale. That directly stimulates the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve basically controls the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. So by controlling your breath, you're sending a direct biological signal to your brain. It's okay, we're safe.
You're physically forcing the body to calm down.
Exactly. You can also adjust your physical settings using power posing.
Power posing, like the superhero stance.
Kinda, yeah. Find a private space beforehand, a restroom stall works, and stand in an expansive posture, hands on hips, chin up, take up space, just for 2 minutes.
And that actually works.
Research suggests it can. It doesn't just make you look more confident, it might actually influence your internal state, your feelings of preparedness, even just slightly. Worth a try.
Interesting. Any other calibration tools?
Mindfulness diagnostics. Grounding yourself in the present moment. When you feel overwhelmed, focus on your senses. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear. It pulls your focus away from the internal panic.
Right, anchors you in the now. Okay, one more internal principle.
Yes, principle 5, redundancy and failsafes. This is huge. Anxiety often comes from the fear that if one little thing goes wrong, everything collapses.
So we build backups, psychological safety nets.
Exactly. Like building a redundant navigation system for your talk.
Meaning?
Have the full script written out somewhere, just in case. Have condensed bullet point note cards as your main guide. And to have your 3 core messages memorized cold.
So if the projector dies, or you drop your cards,
you're not lost. You still know the absolute essential points you need to convey. You have backup systems.
That makes sense. What about planning for specific problems?
Yes, plan for common error states. Don't just hope the tech works or that nobody asks a tough question. Brainstorm them.
Like, what if the projector fails? What if, forget a key statistic, what if someone asks a really hostile question?
Exactly. And for each one, create a simple, pre-planned, one-sentence fail-safe response.
So if you forget a number,
your planned fail-safe might be, the exact figure is escaping me for a moment, but the essential trend is overwhelmingly positive, and that's the key takeaway here.
So you acknowledge it calmly and pivot back to the main point.
Right. Just the act of having a plan for these potential glitches drains so much fear out of the situation. You're prepared for bumps in the road.
This really shifts the perspective. Okay, so that covers the internal system, but we're not speaking in a vacuum, are we?
Not at all. Which brings us to part 3, interfacing with external systems, the audience and the environment.
We need to manage those too.
We need to manage our interaction with them. First, let's look at the audience system. We need to shift from seeing them as adversaries to seeing them as allies.
How do we do that? They feel like judges sometimes.
It starts by redefining your user need. Reframe your entire purpose. It's not about you proving how smart you are.
It's about?
Yes. It's about their needs. Are you there to inform them, persuade them, inspire them? Thinking, I'm here to help them understand this, or I'm here to share something valuable with them, is way more empowering.
Then I'm here to be judged.
Infinitely more empowering. It changes the whole dynamic.
Okay, and how do we actually connect with them? Eye contact is always awkward.
It can be. Sweeping your gaze nervously across the room doesn't really connect with anyone.
Right. So what's the technique?
We suggest the lighthouse technique.
The lighthouse.
Yeah. Find one friendly-looking face in the audience. Speak a complete sentence or a whole thought directly to that person. Make a brief, genuine connection.
Okay, like a mini one-on-one.
Exactly. Then, once that thought is complete, move the lighthouse beam smoothly to another friendly face for the next sentence or thought.
So you're creating a series of brief connections, not just staring vaguely.
Precisely. It breaks down that scary performance barrier and feels more like a conversation. You can also solicit user feedback, ask rhetorical questions, use quick polls if appropriate, make it interactive.
Right. Get them involved. Okay, what about the room itself? The environmental system.
Equally important for reducing cognitive load. First, conduct a pre-flight check.
Meaning arrive early.
Yes, arrive early.
Yeah.
Walk the stage. Stand where you'll be speaking. Touch to the lectern. Get familiar with the space.
Turn it from an unknown space into your space.
Exactly. That simple act of familiarization can significantly lower anxiety right before you start.
And test the tech.
Absolutely. Test all the systems: laptop, projector, clicker, microphone. Test them well beforehand. Technical glitches are such an easy source of major anxiety spikes.
Low-hanging fruit for stress. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. And calibrate your personal settings, too. Wear clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident. Have water handy. Decide consciously where you'll stand. Control the controllables.
This whole toolkit sounds really practical. Does it work in the real world?
Absolutely. Let's look at a couple of brief case studies from the sources. First, Kenji, a Japanese engineer working over in Munich.
Okay, what was his issue?
His diagnosis showed extreme perfectionism, especially about speaking English as his second language, and a lot of mind reading, assuming colleagues were judging his fluency harshly.
How did he apply the engineering principles?
He was very systematic. He used redundancy heavily, creating incredibly detailed visual slides. They were his failsafe. The data would speak clearly even if he stumbled over a word.
Smart, using visuals as backup.
And crucially, he used prototyping. He joined a local language exchange group and practiced giving short, informal talks there.
Why?
Specifically to get used to making small mistakes in a low-stakes environment. To desensitize himself, normalize imperfection in his spoken English. It worked wonders for him.
That's a great example of iterative design. Who else?
Then there was Maria, a marketing manager in Sao Paulo. Really charismatic, but she suffered severe physical symptoms, shaking hands, dry mouth, mostly rooted in imposter syndrome before big formal talks.
She felt the physical symptoms were proof she was a fraud.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that they exposed her. So her intervention focused heavily on system calibration.
The breathing.
Yes. Box breathing became her non-negotiable ritual. She'd do it in the restroom, right before going on stage, every single time, to physically calm her system.
And the mental side.
She used debugging to reframe her purpose. She consciously changed her internal script from, "I have to prove I deserve this job," to something like, "I get to celebrate my amazing team's success and share their hard work."
Shifting the focus from herself to her team.
Yes. That shift turned something she dreaded into an opportunity for genuine connection and, well, pride.
Those are powerful examples.
Yeah.
So bringing this all together, what's the main takeaway for someone listening right now?
I think the core message is this. Anxiety, especially public speaking anxiety, isn't some permanent personality flaw or a life sentence. It's a system.
A system you can understand and modify.
Exactly. By adopting this engineer's mindset, being a diagnostician, a coder, a designer, a technician for your own mind, you become the active architect of your own confidence.
You're not just passively experiencing fear, you're actively working on the system that produces it.
Precisely. Confidence isn't magic. It's not something you're just born with. It's built, it's constructed piece by piece through conscious effort and, well, intelligent design.
This systems approach gives you a practical, logical path forward. It's grounded in solid psychological principles.
It really is.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, something to mull over. We talked about imposter syndrome, about that fear of being exposed or failing. What if you took that fear head on? What if you treated planning for the worst case scenario, like forgetting a statistic or getting that really tough question, as just a necessary part of your preparation, like building those fail-safes we discussed?
Right. Plan for potential failure points.
If you do that, if you actually plan to survive failure rather than chasing some impossible standard of perfection, how much of your speaking anxiety could you potentially eliminate right there, just by being prepared for things to not go perfectly?
That's a powerful question. Shifting from fearing failure to planning for resilience.
That really is the blueprint for engineering confidence.